He's not supposed to be on the court.
It don't
He's
matter.
not supposed to be on the court.
Giannis talked to him. Forget all that.
No, he was on the court.
So what?
You think he said something? He probably know who his dad is.
Stop it. Giannis said something to him.
No, because he's on the court in his face.
So what? Everybody on the court.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can.
No, you cannot do that.
Giannis said something to him.
I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for his son, and I'm happy that he's happy for his son. That's how you're supposed to feel. But coming to me and disrespecting me and cursing at me, I think is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. Okay? And
Giannis just aired it all out. No filter, no holding back. On national TV, he called out Shaq and Tyrese Haliburton's pops for one of the wildest, most out-of-pocket moves we've seen from a parent in the NBA in years.
It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. You know, there's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful, some days you're not. Some days it's your turn, some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win.
And what did Shaq do? Instead of keeping it real, he tried to defend that madness like it was normal behavior. It all started with a championship L, a towel, and a full-grown man crashing the court like he was about to suit up. But here's the real moment that had everyone's jaw on the floor. Giannis said what nobody else in the league had the guts to say out loud.
Having a fan, which at the moment I thought he was a fan, but then I realized he was Tyrese's son, which I love. Tyrese, I think, is a great competitor. He was his dad, sorry. Coming in the floor and showing me his son a towel with his face. This is what we do. This is what we effing do. This is the F we do. This, I feel like that's very, very disrespectful. You know.
He said straight up, Haliburton's dad crossed the line, and Shaq still tried to spin it like Giannis was overreacting. Embarrassing. Let me break it down. Game 5, Bucks versus Pacers. Final score, 119-118. Only 1.3 seconds left on the clock. Emotions through the roof. Players are dapping each other up, coaches shouting plays, then boom, out of nowhere, Tyrese's dad, John Haliburton, storms onto the court like he's checking in to hit a game winner. Security? Nowhere to be found. Dude just walks straight up to Giannis.
He's not supposed to be on the court.
It don't
He's
matter.
not supposed to be on the court.
Giannis talked to him. Forget all that.
No, he was on the court.
So what?
You think he said something? He probably know who his dad is.
Stop it. Giannis said something to him.
No, because he's on the court in his face.
So what? Everybody on the court.
You can't do that. So you think his dad was correct? No, his dad was 100% wrong.
Giannis is wrong? Bro, Giannis said something to him.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he not.
Look, right there.
No, his dad is coming up to him. What is his dad doing on the court? His dad is not supposed to be on the court. You can yell as much as you want to. He's an idiot. If you think that's right, you're an idiot too.
Who's standing there, heated, hands on his hips, dealing with the loss. And what does Pops do? He shoves a towel in Giannis's face. Not just any towel. A custom towel with his son's picture plastered on it. Talking crazy like, this is what we do. This is what we foxing do. Who does that?
I don't care. He's always on the court.
He should not be on the court talking to other players.
Bro, Giannis said something to him. He didn't say
came up
nothing
to
to Giannis.
Giannis.
No, he did not.
No, that's not true. He couldn't have said
walking
anything
in the line
to
behind
him.
his son.
What do you mean walking in line behind his son? He shouldn't be on the court. He didn't play in the game.
Always on the court.
No, he shouldn't be.
Giannis was caught off guard. He even said at first, I thought he was a fan. But once he realized it was Tyrese's dad, the level of disrespect hit different. And don't get it twisted, Giannis wanted to speak fully on it. But he knew if he did, the league would definitely get involved. He said, I don't want to drop all the details. I don't want to be a snitch. So yeah, this wasn't just trash talk. This was a full-blown disrespect parade in front of millions. I come from the hood. If I really speak on what went down, Giannis wasn't just talking, he was warning.
I'm not the guy that points fingers because in my neighborhood, snitches get stitches. So I don't want to say something, for him to say, to get fined or anything. But it's not respectful. I talked with him at the end.
That line, it was code for lawsuits, courtrooms, maybe even league bans. He kept it quiet, but let's not act like that statement didn't carry some serious heat. Something way beyond basic NBA drama went down. Now here's where it gets wild. While most folks were calling out Haliburton's dad for acting like an unhinged superfan, Shaq jumped on national TV and straight up defended him.
I think it's the emotions of the game just got excited there. But I talked with him. I'll talk with Giannis eventually about it. Just, I don't think that my pops was in the right at all there. And unfortunate, what happened in the end there. But but I think we had a conversation, and I think he just needs to just allow me to just play basketball, stay over there. I'll come to him to celebrate. But
on Inside the NBA, Shaq said, "John, always be on the court," and he just celebrating. Celebrating what exactly? Then Shaq took it further and called Giannis soft for getting upset. He even said it was stupid for anyone to feel offended by a dad getting hyped. For real? That's when the internet snapped back hard. Fans dragged Shaq like never before. The comment sections were on fire. Even Tyrese had to keep it a buck. He told the media, "I don't think my pops was in the right at all there. He didn't sugarcoat nothing. He even said, he needs to let me play and stay in his seat. I'll come to him if we win." That's real talk. Tyrese handled it like a grown man. Didn't defend the nonsense, just kept it solid. And the Pacers, they didn't waste time. The team told John Haliburton he's banned from all home and away games for now. And guess what? He agreed. No fuss, no drama. Man just accepted it. Imagine being blocked from watching your own son hoop in person. That's how deep this got. But hold up, it gets crazier. Most people miss this, but if you really zoom in on that game footage, something wild might have gone down. Word is, Tyrese's mom might have swung on Giannis. Yup. Viewers caught a moment where the woman right behind John looked like she lightly hit Giannis in the middle of the chaos. That ain't no cheer move. Was it on purpose? Nobody knows for sure. But let's be honest. If this was anybody else's mom, the headlines would have been exploding with family attacks Giannis stories. And even after all that, Giannis still threw up a thumbs up to John Haliburton as he walked off. Now that's self-control. That's how far Giannis went to keep it classy, even after getting clowned and disrespected right after a playoff loss. And y'all thought it ended there? Nope. Shaq doubled down the very next night like he was ready to go to war over this take. On Inside the NBA, Ernie calmly asked Shaq to explain why he kept defending John Haliburton's wild behavior. Instead of pulling back, Shaq turned up, raised his voice, got all defensive, like he was being personally attacked. Chuck and Kenny tried to jump in, cool it down, but Shaq, man, he just kept talking over everybody like he always do when he knows he messed up, but won't admit it. Even Ernie looked tight. Like, is Shaq really out here backing someone storming the court during a playoff game? That's a wild hill to die on. And the internet? They clapped back instantly. One user said, "Not even sure what point Shaq is trying to make. Haliburton's dad was wrong." Everyone agrees on that. What is Shaq even defending? Another wrote, "Shaq's ego too damn big. He not even defending Haliburton's dad. He just trying to check Giannis for showing emotion." But the coldest one? Shaq, loud and wrong as usual. If Giannis had kicked Haliburton's dad, y'all would be saying he shouldn't have been on the court in the first place. He's a fan. The whole internet, Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, lit up with people calling Shaq out. And then folks started digging. Remember when Shaq admitted he punched 5 people across 6 different teams during his career? Yeah, that clip came back real quick. People started asking, how can he talk about overreacting? But Giannis, he ain't run to social media. He ain't throw shade on talk shows. He just waited and dropped that one calm line. Being humble don't mean being silent. Boom! Now folks are connecting the dots, saying Giannis might really be letting the league know you don't run this anymore. Stop defending clowns. Let's not forget, Shaq once said Giannis was better than he ever was at 24. That clip, the internet never let him live it down. The second he said it, he tried to backpedal like, do you need to see more though? I'm not saying he's better than me. Man, what is it then? Now fast forward, Giannis is a finals MVP, 2-time league MVP, and easily got one of the cleanest reps in the entire NBA. And Shaq? He'd been looking salty ever since. Fans see it too. One even posted, "Shaq needs help." That take was so wrong. It's clear. This ain't about Haliburton's dad anymore. This is jealousy, plain and simple. Shaq been throwing shade for a minute. Meanwhile, Giannis kept his mouth shut, trying to stay respectful. But let's be real, this dude been biting his tongue for years. Always the bigger man, always focused on ball, never beefing online. But now, he's done playing humble. 'Cause this whole situation with Haliburton's dad, that wasn't just a fan moment, that felt personal. And let's rewind to 2021. Remember when the Bucks won it all? Giannis dropped a casual 50 points in a close-out finals game, and what did the media say? He got lucky. It was a fluke. He only won because KD's foot was too big. What kind of disrespect is that? People keep poking at him like he's soft, but let's not forget where Giannis came from. When he said, "I come from the hood. I don't want to be a snitch." That line hit deep. That wasn't no polished PR-trained Giannis. That was real-life Giannis. The same kid who sold watches in the street, who shared one bed with all his brothers, who used to rotate one pair of sneakers between him and Thanasis because they couldn't afford another pair. Back in Greece, he was fighting poverty, racism, and immigration threats, and he still made it out, still became a superstar, still kept it respectful through all the hate. So when Giannis said, "If I speak on what happened, there'll be lawsuits," he meant every word. That wasn't for show. That was a warning. Whatever Haliburton's dad said or did, it wasn't just disrespect. It was something serious. Some fans even speculating that racial slurs might have been thrown out there. And honestly, that wouldn't even be shocking at this point. But here's what's really crazy. No fines, no official statement, no update to security rules. Nothing. If this was just some random fan rushing the court and getting in a star's face, he'd be banned for life without hesitation. But since it's a player's dad, the league just turned a blind eye like it didn't even happen. Let's flip it. What if Giannis had reacted? What if he pushed John Haliburton off him or even raised his voice? Y'all think he'd still be called classy in the media? No way. ESPN, Fox Sports, Bleacher Report, every outlet would be dragging his name through the mud non-stop. And this is where Shaq's whole logic falls apart again. Like I said before, Shaq ain't new to throwing hands. He even admitted it himself. Said he punched 5 different people across 6 teams during his career. But suddenly, Giannis gets emotional, and now he's the problem? Let's not forget, Shaq ran a whole segment clowning JaVale McGee for months, had the man trending just off pure disrespect. But when Chuck cracked a little joke about Shaq's weight, all of a sudden it's too far. That right there shows you, Shaq protects the ones who boost his ego. And if you're a threat to his legacy, he throws shade. It's starting to look like this whole drama cracked something wide open. People are finally seeing how deep the double standards run with these NBA old heads. Giannis gets hated for being too quiet. Ja gets hated for being too loud. Steph gets dragged for being confident. LeBron gets bashed for being calculated. But Haliburton's dad? Acting like a toddler in a casino, and somehow he gets a pass? Make it make sense! Passion? Nah. Miss me with that. Now that the dust's supposed to be settling, you'd think folks would have moved on, right? Nope! The whole Giannis versus Shaq versus Haliburton's family mess just refuses to die. And the NBA staying silent is only making it worse. Let's break down how crazy this got since Giannis finally spoke out, and why this might actually force the league to rethink how it handles player safety and court boundaries. A few hours after the internet cooked him, Tyrese's dad, John Haliburton, finally dropped a public apology. He said, "I sincerely apologize to Giannis, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Pacers organization for my actions following tonight's game. This was not a good reflection on our sport or my son, and I will not make that mistake again." Sounds polished, right? But fans weren't having it. People pointed out how this man stormed the court like the 13th man, got in Giannis' face right after a playoff loss, waved a towel in his face with his son's pick, and allegedly cursed him out on live TV. Now he want to hit us with the oops, my bad? Nah, that wasn't remorse. That was PR cleanup, straight from the team's playbook. Let's keep it real. The only reason he apologized is because the Pacers told him he's done showing up. Not just at home games, all games, home and away. He ain't welcome anywhere near the court. So was it sincere, or was it just saving face? Fans already made up their minds, and this whole situation pulled back the curtain on just how soft the league's gotten with court security. Imagine if it had been a regular fan running out there like that. They'd be tackled, cuffed, and banned from every NBA arena for life. But since it was a player's dad, he gets a press release apology and a voluntary break from watching his own son hoop. That's not accountability. That's a weak slap on the wrist. And here's the real problem. If the NBA keeps treating this like a minor issue, what happens when the next hyped-up parent decides to cross the line? What if it gets physical next time? This ain't about passion. It's about protection. This ain't just about Giannis anymore. This about setting a precedent. Because next time a fan crosses the line, best believe they're going to point right back to this moment and say, well, Haliburton's dad did worse and walked away clean. Let's keep it all the way real. Shaq's brand, it ain't what it used to be. He's become the goofy uncle of NBA media. People still show him love. But this whole saga exposed a different side. The side that defends disrespect as long as it fits his own narrative. And ever since Giannis said he wasn't gonna spill all the details, fans been out here connecting dots on their own. Some even believe a racial slur might have been dropped, which would explain that hood comment Giannis made. Rumors flying that the Bucks were ready to press charges, but Giannis told them to let it slide. Again, all speculation. But with how quiet the NBA's been, folks are going to keep spinning theories. This whole thing might force the league to finally tighten up. We could be looking at new rules for where player families can sit, stricter rules for post-game behavior, clear punishments when fans or family members cross that court line. Because if they don't act now, they're basically telling the world, yeah, you can run up on an NBA star and talk crazy, you'll be fine. And Giannis? Oh, he watching everything. Let's recap it. Giannis just lost a do-or-die playoff game. He's heated, standing alone, and out of nowhere, Haliburton's dad storms the court, mocks him with a towel, maybe even curses him out. Giannis didn't swing, didn't shout, just stood there and kept it calm, but he made it clear, I'm not the one. Shaq defended the wrong dude and doubled down even when the fans called him out. Tyrese, he owned up, said his dad crossed the line. The Pacers banned him from all games. But the NBA, crickets. Silent like they hope it all fades away, but it won't. Cause Giannis said what every real one was thinking. This was disrespectful. I come from the hood. I don't want to snitch, but don't push me. And that, right there, made the whole league sit up and pay attention. If you felt this breakdown, smash that like button, drop a comment, hit subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear the truth. Appreciate y'all for riding with me. See you on the next one.